man that don't just move on his own, but move with God in directions. The man that impact people not only in the real estate, but equipped you on who you want to be in future. The man that, his integrity and leadership skill has excelled him to almost number one in the real estate industry. The man that when you go closer to him, you'll be wondering, wow, is this what real estate is about? It has nothing to hide. He tells you the secret of the whole thing. The man who give you the wisdom of how to allow your money you make in real estate and everyday life to, explode you by the skill of 10, 10, 10. I don't know whether you will understand it. The man that after you listen to him today, your life remain the same, follow the system. Please, I want to say, do you have your pen and paper? Don't just hear with your bare ear thinking your brain will catch up everything. Get pen and paper, because what you're going home today with, you won't believe it, will lead you like in your life skill. Without wasting our time, I want to bring our lovely God speaker of the day, Dr. Frederick Okpaje, CEO and Managing Director, PWAN Haven, to come at us today. Thank you, sir. The microphone is now in your hand. We have a visualized microphone in this Zoom meeting. So I hand over the microphone to you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Pastor Maka, all those names you give now, title upon title. Awesome. Yes. Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Good afternoon, Dr. Fred.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Hey, dear sister, Abuja sister, how are you? All right. It's a brand new day. And I want to thank Pastor Maka and all the leaders in the diaspora that have been working tirelessly to make this brand visible. And I want to also thank the leadership of the PWAN group for giving us this platform that we can, showcase our talents and also make a living. Just like the last testifier said, yesterday I woke up to an alert that I was wondering, where is this one coming from? About 3 of them. And I was like, where is it coming from? But I wasn't surprised because it's what we do. And so I want to thank the leadership, the president, the chairman, the vice president, the group executive directors, the executive directors, the workers, and the PBOs. It's amazing, I can tell you. Except you belong to this family, you will not understand. And sometimes when we want to do things, we do them very loud. So you'll be wondering, how come these people are so loud? It is the joy that we have. And I can tell you, it's been a good ride. For me, it's been, let's say, about 8.5 years in the system. And so I can testify of how good this business is. I want to tell us one small story before we start. Pastor Maka, I hope I have enough time to express myself today. Do I
Yes,
have that?
sir.
Great. All right. So when I came back from Ireland, most of you know that I lived in Ireland for some years before coming back to Nigeria. Sincerely speaking, it looks like suicidal when you are coming back to Nigeria, especially when it has to do with migration. But then I had a clear vision, I had a clear thought, and it was something that I couldn't take off my mind. So I called my wife that, look, I don't think this Europe is meant for me. because all the while I've been here, I've done all kinds of work, security, taxing, there's something we call chef watch. I've done all that, even dropped leaflets for people. I did euphony, and I told myself, I said, look, if I put this effort I have here in Nigeria, I know I will get more in terms of results. And she told me, even herself, even me, I'm also thinking of migrating back, but the two of us cannot go back at the same time. So I decided to put a pen to paper. I began to plan, what can I do when I come back to Nigeria? I called a friend of mine who is a lawyer, who I know is doing a business. And she told me that, look, Fred, this business of leather sheets, that is the leather they use in making making shoes, sandals, and all the rest, is a very good business. I will link you up with my company, the company that I have franchise with. I have left the business so that you can take over from me, which was a good deal, and I did. And I did my first experience. I saw that it was good. It's a business that they don't owe you. And so the money will just come the day your container comes out. They'll give you your money. So I was excited at that time. But then somehow the door got locked. In the business environment, let me tell you something today. It's a warfare. When you're in business and you get to a certain level, it's warfare. And so it was Christmas, my container arrived, and we were waiting for clearing. It happened to run towards the December period, which was around 20th. And the container came out on the 22nd. Imagine 22nd, the market, the Igbo guys would have been in their home by then, but some of them waited to say, look, your leather is always good. By the time I got to this time, I now have to come to the market myself, because initially it was their chairman that normally take in my goods and represented me. So I give him a particular price. He can sell at any price, get the profit for himself, give me my own, and that's it. But then he had traveled because he waited and waited. The container didn't come when he was around. So I decided to go myself to go and welcome my container. Big mistake. The moment the Igbo guys knew that I am not one of them, trust them, they shut the market against me. For 3.5 years, I was unable to sell one sheet. Now, you can imagine someone who is migrating to Nigeria with every penny he has, putting it into the business, thinking that returns will come. So for about 2 years, my family were in limbo. I was in limbo. In short, to sustain it was a big problem. It was at the verge of that. You know, when the belly is hungry, you have to go and look for food. I was trying to say, okay, what can I do again? I went to a business center, and that was when I saw a leaflet, work with us and earn 450,000 naira a week. I said, these Nigerians have come. 450,000 naira a week. How can that be possible? You guys are scammers. Of course, to those of us who are still in abroad, this is the mindset. You don't trust any Nigerian. And the young lady at the counter, who happened to be the receptionist, told me, sir, it is possible. I said, how can this be? He said to me, look, the owner is even here. The chairman was there conducting a training. And lo and behold, she went and called him, and he came with a very broad smile, charming, smiling. I said, yeah, they perfected their act. So he's going to talk to me now. Then He spoke to me very politely. He asked me to come in and join the meeting. I went to go and join meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't hear one word he said because my mind was just centered on scamming. But then he gave me his card and said, see me in the office. I said, truly, I will come and see you so that you will train me on how to make 450,000 naira a week. So I left. As you know, luck will have it again. We met after 3 months. He said, sir, you were the one I met at the cyber cafe. I said, yes. He said, look, why didn't you come? I said, sorry, sir, I couldn't make it. I have to give him one excuse. He now said, look, come with me. I couldn't resist. So I went to the office, which was the former office at Okpaje. I got there. I saw on the left-hand side, there was a lady sitting down. The smile alone also was charming. In my mind, I said, these guys are so smart. Look at them, all of them smiling very well. I sat in front of chairman. He said, if you have 10 million naira, I said, now you are talking. 10 million naira, you just bring 10 million naira and give it to you. Now, as at that time, because of the mindset I have, I was not listening. And lo and behold, when he looked at me, he brought a paper and said to me, I should fill this form. No, I should go and write application in this format. So in my mind, I'm like, this man, won't you stop? You are trying to trick me with 10 million naira, and now you are asking me to apply for employment. Will you be able to pay me? You know, all these things were going on in my mind. He didn't know. And as if that was not enough, he brought another form and said, oh yeah, go and fill this one. Go and pay 37,650 into the Zenith account and bring the form, the receipt back. Do you know that it was like shamming me? I stood up from that office, drove all the way with traffic to the bank and paid that 37,650. It was after I paid, my mind now open. I said, what has gotten into me? So the charm of this man really worked against me. I said, no wonder. You know, and I went to the office again to go and submit it. They now gave me a pack containing some flyers and said, you go and market. I say, oh, so you want me to be an agent? I said, my mind is the old agent that we normally know. You know, their shoes are not well polished. They have lost alignment. I said, thank you very much. You want to make me now an agent? So I left. 6 months after, I never touched that office, never opened that pack. Only for me to go and look for my friends. You know, when you come back to Nigeria, you are looking for opportunity, trying to connect with old friends. So I went to my former church where the vice president of Nigeria is the pastor, who happened to be somebody I know. Then John Enalama, somebody I know. You have Kemi Adeoshu, who would later become, who was the former commissioner for finance in Ogun State, and also the finance minister for Nigeria. So I went looking for those people, only for me to run into my old office help, my cleaner, who doubled as my tea boy. Now, he saw me and jumped up. Mind you, we have not seen for a very long time. So he was excited. He jumped at me and, you know, gave me a hug. Sir, good to see you. Are you back in Nigeria? I said, yes. Is it for good? I said, yes. What are you doing? I said, business. What type of business? Ladies and gentlemen, again, the first thing that came out of my mouth was real estate. After I said that, I was like, these people really put something in me. I'm not marketing real estate. He now said, thank God. I have some money I wanted to put in a fixed deposit account. So I will put it in real estate. That word that young man spoke to me took me back about 30, 20 years ago, and I was like, the boy that I was signing his timesheet, salary, 12,000 naira, want to buy land through me. A land that he's going to buy is not just in 100, you're talking about millions. I said, wait a minute. Oh. So I went in. Before I got there, I started writing the check. What name can I put in the check? So I said to him, I said, look, you need to go and see the land first. He now said to me, he says, are you, Chebi, you are involved? I said, yeah. He said, that's it now. Hey. I said, oh, okay. Then he wrote the check. I gave him the form. He filled. After filling, he said, I left. As I was going, my mind was just filled up. One, I calculated the amount of money the plot of land he bought. I will make 225,000 naira. So I said, so if I happen to sell two like this, so these people are wrong, are not wrong after all. That was when I said, okay, let me even put the flyer. I just snapped it, put it on my DP. Before I got home, I have 7 friends that called me to ask me if I'm now in real estate. I said, yes. They said, okay, please send us the account, we will pay. 7 friends out of which 5 bought, made payment instantly, and sent the evidences to me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I draw the curtain on real estate. I said, real estate will die here. I have not looked back till today. And I can tell you that little experience, that encounter that I had is the evidence of what you are saying today. And so what I want to actually encourage us is this. We feel that our profession is the best. Of course it is. That was why we studied. That's what we think. But beyond that, there is something else that God has for us. That is one thing that we need to discover. When you discover that, you will be so excited doing it, effortlessly doing it, and you will be successful. There is no pressure on you. There's nothing that will make you to hate it. That is just the word of advice I want to give to us and the testimony of how I started real estate. And today, we are looking at a conglomerate, a company that started, let's say, 50 million naira. Right now, as I speak to you, our target is to hit 1 trillion. That's our target. And, the real estate industry is that if you really get it right, before you get old, or when you are old and you cannot even go to work, you will still be earning. Even in your grave, you will still be earning. That is what real estate is all about. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to today's chit chat with Dr. Fred Okpaje. I happen to be the managing director of PWAN Haven Investments and Realtors Limited. I serve also as the group executive director of operation for the group, and I also hold the portfolio of the managing director of the construction arm of the P1 group called Falkland. I'm so excited to come to you today to bring this good news to you. And I just hope that it will encourage one person, just one, because that's the prayer I pray every day. Lord, as I wake up today, give me one life that I can change, that my life can change. I hope one word will be useful for you that you will apply and it will be beneficial to you. So, what are we talking about today? I want to talk about leadership. Leadership. Now, sincerely speaking, leadership is a broad thing. And actually, we can probably talk about this for a whole month. We probably may not fully define it. But I have some few things put together, and I just want us to listen attentively to hear what I have to say. If it makes sense, apply it. If it doesn't make sense, well, I can say you spent time with me. At least you saw my face. My face is not that bad. And you can be happy with that and take that to the bank. Truly, you will cash in some money. All right. Your title does not make you a leader. Now,
Correct.
It's a very tricky thing. You know, we say Mr. Master, you know, and so your title does not make you a leader. Now, this is one of the best sets of advice I have actually studied and read about. All mankind really needs this advice. Number one, recommendation. That is, take risk in your life. Now, if you take a risk, the tendency is that you can win or you cannot. All right? So if you win, right, you can lead. If you win, you can lead. When you lose, you can guide people. The reason is this. There's something about failure that people think failure is a bad thing. Failure has its own experience that is very good. And if
Correct.
you ask me, between the rich and the poor, it is just the way they classify failure that makes the difference. There are a series of opportunities that people have had and they keep having. But because the mindset is that it's a failure and it's a bad thing, they fail to learn from it. And so when you fail to learn from your failure, you will think that it is a bad thing. So you won't be able to guide anybody. So listen again. Take the risk in your life or take risk in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. That's point number one. Why do you have to guide? Because the experience you have in the process of failing will give you a very, very, very clear understanding of where you are coming from. You can guide people to say, don't go that route. There's a ditch there. There are broken bottles here. Why? Because you pass through that path. So you can guide people if you lose. Number two, people are not what they say, but what they do. People are not what they say, but they are what they do. In other words, evidence speaks for, let your evidence, all right, of what you are doing announce you. So judge them, not from their words, but from their actions. Now, this is very tricky because, okay, I have done something. Why will you only judge me from my action or my words, but from my action? Truth is this, which is one of the things I warn people. You know, we talk about the judgments of God, and this is the theory I came up with. I always ask questions. I say, God, wait, if I did something wrong or I did it right, for instance, there is an intent behind the action. All right? There is an intent. And that is the substance. It's not the action. It's not the thing I say with my mouth. The act, that is what the evidence is that emanated or caused me to do that thing, is actually the main focal point. If you can get that correctly, you will see what I'm talking about. So people are not what they say, but what they do. So judge them not from their words, but from their action. Point number three, when someone hurts you, don't feel bad, because it's a law of nature that the tree that bears the sweetest fruits gets maximum number of stones. How can that be? God. Let me tell you, when you have somebody that is bypassing you, there are two things that are behind it. They are throwing tantrum at you, manure, and they are giving you good soil to grow. Why? Because when people begin to work against you, you now have to devise a means to be strong and also to do better than them. It is so easy and very important for us. So when someone hurts you, don't feel bad, because it's a law of nature that the tree that bears the sweetest fruit gets maximum number of stones. When people are criticizing you, just know that you're on the right track, especially if you are doing the right thing. Because, for instance, when this real estate founder started, I am very certain, just like I felt with the testimony I gave, I was thinking it was a scam. Just hearing about it, 450,000 naira. Look at it. And so if I base my judgment on that, what will happen is that I'm actually going to see the evidence later and what it has become. All right? So number 4, take whatever you can from your life, because when life starts taking from you, it takes even your last breath. Oh my God. The advice here is that try and make meaningful impact now that you still have your breath. Miles Monroe said, the best place where the riches dwell is the burial ground. A lot of people died with so much in them. They couldn't do anything with it, and they died with it. And so let me tell you another prayer I pray. I pray that God, look, let me die empty. I don't want to go into the grave with what I know that I did not share or give out to somebody. I want to die poor. When I said that in one of the seminars, they said, can you die poor? I say, you don't understand English. I know English is not our language, so let me break it down. Everything in me is worth. Everything. What God has blessed me with is worth. And so the knowledge that God has given to me, those inspirations, I must not die with them. That is what I mean by dying poor. They said, oh, now I understand. Right. So take whatever you can from life, because when life starts taking from you, it takes even your last breath. You will not believe that, right. When you are young, maybe you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 years, the teenage life, they don't believe that there's anything called death. And that's why you see them, they adventure to so many things. In short, they look at you and said, is this person seeing life? So they have that heart that there's nothing called death. They can exploit, they can, in short.
So sorry, unmute yourself. Sorry, where are you? So unmute yourself. Need to make.
Sorry. All right, so sorry.
So we're not hearing you.
Now you can hear me. Okay, so let me take that point again.
Yes, sir.
That point number 4. Take whatever you can from life, because when life starts, even your last breath will be taken away from you. What that means is that every opportunity that you have right now, make sure you make use of it. Because when you die, you have no such opportunity anymore. And life is more like an exchange. Whatever I give to you, you have to give it to others to allow it to grow. If you watch people who have died years ago, some of the knowledge they taught people is what we are using today. But they are no more. Thousands of years ago, they are gone. But if they had failed to utilize that, life would have taken their own bread from them, and those knowledge are useless. So I made a comment referring to Miles Monroe, he said, where you will find the best and wealthiest people is in the grave. When you go to the graveyard, because they die with all that they have, they did not give it out. So take it very, very seriously. Point number 5. In this world, people will always throw stones on the path of your success. It depends on what you make from them, a wall or a bridge. Oh my goodness. You know, sometimes when you look at all these things and you are reading them and you are looking at them and you begin to laugh because why? They are true. People will throw stones at success, criticize it. They will, in short, they will trample on it. But guess what? It depends on what you make out of it. You can either build a wall to protect yourself from them, or you build a bridge to reach out to others.